Squadron, 2nd Cavalry Regiment. We're currently located approximately 2 kilometers behind the front line of troops. And what we have here is one of our soldiers who constructed a 2-man fighting position. We're using these fighting positions in order to create more survivability as well as concealment from the enemy. We've been receiving a lot of indirect fire as well as direct fire. So this is something that we have not been training a lot recently, but a skill that we're working on in the field to improve our concealment from enemy air assets as well as forward observers, and then also provide more protection as we get attacked from direct or indirect fires. So one of my roles is primarily to identify with my squad leaders where we would like to position these 2-man fighting positions, and then from there my squad leaders work with our team leaders and soldiers to actually construct the fighting positions. Currently my platoon is attached to headquarters and headquarters troop of the Regimental Engineer Squadron. Our primary role is to assist with base defense as well as detainee operations, and one way we've augmented our base cluster defense with mobile patrols, hasty checkpoints and delivered checkpoints throughout the area is through the construction of concertina wire obstacles with the assistance of dig assets from the Engineer Squadron, as well as identifying and constructing 2-man fighting positions throughout their tactical assembly area. We've used these to improve survivability and also assist us in the defense from both indirect fires as well as direct fires throughout the training exercise.
With the Foxhole, what we have here is it's about approximately 1 E-tool wide. It should be about to the armpits. This one's a little bit deeper, but essentially what we're doing is we're concealing ourselves from the enemy while having protection from direct and indirect fire. Also what we have are some logs that go perpendicular to the hole. It gives it a good base. From there we take shrubs, any kind of foliage, pack it down with about 18 inches of dirt, and then we cover it back up with grass, foliage from the area that will conceal it as best as possible from the outside looking in, so that we can have our heavy weapons, tripods, things like that, as well as any kind of anti-tank assets to try to defeat the enemy as they approach. So from X1 to X14, we started off with very little, very hasty, almost like maybe 6 inches deep, to now where we have, armpit level fighting positions with overhead cover, where initially we had no overhead cover and no concealment, where we would be lucky to get any kind of cover from shrapnel to now possibly being able to defeat a direct enemy attack. As a drill sergeant, initially starting out, we weren't teaching individual fighting positions and camouflage, and as the program of instruction has changed, we camouflage ourselves, we camouflage our equipment. So the importance of the face paint, the camouflaging your vehicles, camouflaging essentially everything that we have, just carries over now into me being able to teach my young soldiers, NCOs, squad leaders, and even the platoon leader, based on what doctrine has told us from the schoolhouse now out to the operational army. Having that near-peer threat as opposed to coin, we know that they have armor assets, they have aerial assets that we weren't necessarily seeing Iraq and Afghanistan, that now we're able to assist with that from